Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 25 of the March Daily Draw. So let's see what message we get today, and I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch, Ostara Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Here we go. We have the Eight of Wands. I think we had this once before. Momentum. We are gaining momentum. Yesterday was the Four of Cups, where we were feeling a little bit perhaps unmotivated, being a bit disconnected and not really feeling stuff, but we may be having an off day, and I said that's okay as long as we don't stay there for too long. And maybe things are picking up again now. Maybe it was just an off day for us, a short period of feeling a little bit icky about things, but now we've worked through those issues, and now we get a new burst of energy that's helping us move forward and picking up the pace once again. So maybe we had to just have a time where we sat with ourselves and, give ourselves a bit of a talking to, maybe a bit of a pep talk, as it were. And now we've perhaps slept on it, and now we are beginning to feel like, yeah, we're okay. It was just a blip. We can carry on. We can move on. And maybe we want to pick up the pace a bit to make up for the little bit of time that we lost there. As long as we don't push it too far, just let the flow come naturally. It'll gain momentum naturally as we pick things up again and start moving again. It may not be as quick to start with, but it will gather pace. And I think that's what this card is saying, is that if you have to pick yourself up after losing momentum a little bit, which happens to us all from time to time, when you pick it back up again, it may seem like you're going really slower than you were before, and you probably are, but you need to, get that energy, that inertia that you had. You got to get past that, and sometimes it's a bit of a sluggish start, but once you get moving, the natural momentum takes over, and then you get more into the flow of it, and you pick up speed. And I think that's what this card is saying is what we're at this midweek point. That we've got another burst of energy to perhaps see us through the rest of the week, and it's, we can pick up the pace. Maybe we just had a little bit of time to have a breather. Maybe were we going a little bit too fast for ourselves? We were rushing a little bit, and that's why we got a little bit ahead of ourselves, and that's why we disconnected from what we were doing, and it became too much of a burden for us, and we weren't feeling the love and the passion for it anymore, and we needed to perhaps slow down a little bit, do a bit of a reset. Sometimes we have to do that from time to time, but once the reset is done, we have this situation here where we're up and away, and we're moving forward again with that momentum. Moving forward, or moving upwards and onwards, is what we had when we had the Knight of Swords, if I remember right. So we press on, we continue on, we let that energy carry us forward. We channel that creative energy towards what we want to do, and we anticipated I think that there would be times when the momentum would be challenged. The things would become a bit more wearisome, a little bit more tedious at times, challenging for us. Which is why we had to choose a path and a goal that we really cared about, that would, even in the low times, would give us the motivation to work through those times, because we wanted to get back onto the road, as it were, to reach the goal that we wanted to do, because we really want to achieve that goal. And we'll have those off times, but also have times even before we've reached the goal where we enjoy the process. That's something else I believe that we need to be able to do, is to enjoy the process of getting there, enjoy the journey, not just in reaching the destination, but the experience of the journey. So that's the other thing I believe that the message is for today. But the main thing is now is we're starting up again, and the momentum's returning, and we can continue on. And don't keep thinking about the time that you had to take out. If that's the case, that you have to do that. As I said, sometimes it's necessary, and as long as we work through it and then come out of it and start again, that's fine. That's all part of being human. That's the human experience. That's what happens. As long as we keep going at the end of the day and we're moving forward, then that is going to get us to where we want to be. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Okay. We have the hare, the March hare, perhaps. We're still in March. We're approaching the last days of March. It seems to have gone really quick this year. There's magic in the balance of all that we are. That's very helpful, isn't it? There is magic in the balance of all that we are. Maybe we lost our balance a little bit if we had a Four of Cups moment. Maybe we had to regather our balance, our inner balance. Maybe we went too far on one aspect and neglected some other aspect of ourselves. We need to get that balance with ourselves. We need a bit more of a temperance. We could have had a temperance card here instead of this oracle card. We need to have that inner balance, that balance of all that we are. Every aspect of ourselves needs to come into play, not just one aspect. Because if we're just focusing on one aspect of ourselves, that can put too much burden on that one aspect, instead of bringing all of ourselves to the situation. Maybe that's a lesson we've had to learn in order to reconnect and to regather our momentum. That's where the magic is, in the balance of all that we are. So once we find that balance of how we pace ourselves, how we spend the balance of how we spend our time, the things we focus on at any given moment, the different things that we do, having a balance in that, so we're not just focusing on one aspect and neglecting others. It is very much of a temperance kind of situation, and that will help us to keep the energy flowing more consistently, which will always bring more momentum to what we're doing, because it's that the more consistent and constant that energy push is, the more momentum it will gather. It's when we get things to undermine that consistency that causes the momentum to diminish. So let's keep that balance and keep moving forward. And that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 26. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.